Hey everybody, it is me, your fearless leader, Dr. Newmark, recording a quick video for you for week 5. Now what I'm going to do in this video is provide a little bit of an introduction right now, and then I'm going to move into a segment from a video that I recorded last semester for my hybrid 290. So some of the things that I say in that video refer to the fact that we met in the classroom, so I don't want you guys to be confused when you listen to that part of this video and say, well, she didn't tell us anything in the classroom. That's why I'm including this little preface so that you understand that that was previously recorded content for last semester. But what I do in the forthcoming part of the video is go over some highlights from Chapter 5. Chapter 5 is all about audience analysis, and those techniques are of critical importance to your future career as a technical communicator. So I will advise you to look at closely certain pages in the textbook, and I will name them by name. So if you don't have a notebook and pen out already, please pause the video and get a notebook right now so you can jot down some notes while I'm talking later in the video. Hopefully you will have already read the chapter by the time you watch this video, so that when I identify pages to refer to, you can kind of go back and reinforce your knowledge. Watching this video and reading that chapter are going to be necessary prerequisites for taking the quiz later this week. Also, you'll want to refresh your memory on the Clint Lanier video from last week. That also will be covered in the quiz. Now, another thing that's happening this week, in addition to the reading and the discussion board post, your online activity 3, is that I'm going to assign the next major assignment, which is a group assignment. That prompt has been posted for you. It's quite lengthy and it has 3 parts to it. They're all contained in a single document. So you'll find that on the left-hand side of your Learn page. At the very end of this video, I'm going to give you some examples of student work from last semester for this week's discussion board, so I can show you how I would like you to complete this discussion board post. So without further ado, we're going to move into the next part of the video. Hello students, I wanted to record a quick video for you since we won't be meeting together in the classroom in week 5. So what you'll see on your screen right now is our course calendar showing what we're doing in week 5. So for this coming Monday, I expect you to read Chapter 5 in your textbook, which is about audience and purpose and analyzing your audience. I've mentioned to you in the classroom some strategies that people use to get to know their audience, the people for whom they're writing or designing communication. One of the formal ways to do that is through an audience profile sheet, which your book talks about creating. There's an example of that on page 86. I'm not going to be having you write a formal audience profile sheet, but some of the aspects of the audience profile that you can still determine are listed there. The person for whom you're writing, you need to know how much education they have, how much professional experience they have, their job responsibilities, cultural characteristics, how they feel about you as a writer, and the way they're going to use your document. We've talked about some of that document use information in class concerning the media output you're creating. If you're going to be creating a piece of communication that's used on a digital device, there are some different pieces of information you need to take into account. If they're going to be using a document out in the rain, obviously you need to create your communication given that information. So on pages 90 and 91, your book talks about this factor of how will your readers use your document. So that's information that I really want you to concentrate on. I also wanted to point out in Chapter 5 that there is a whole section on considering cultural variables as you write. So this begins on page 99, and you will come to see that the way that you present information in your document is culturally dependent based on your audience's expectations, sometimes regarding the level of formality conveyed in a document, the customary language tropes used. So you want to look at the call out box on page 101 that talks about some of the best practices for writing for readers from other cultures. Now, what I really wanted to hone in on in this short video is the assignment that you need to write by Wednesday here, Wednesday 11:59 p.m. You're going to be doing bi-weekly assignment number 3, which follows exercise 3 on page 113. So this prompt says, study the website of a large manufacturer of computer products such as Hewlett-Packard, Acer, Dell, or Lenovo. Identify 3 different pages that address different audiences and fulfill different purposes. They give you the example of the Lenovo group fact page. The audience is prospective investors in the company, and the purpose is to persuade the prospective investors to invest in the company. So it says be prepared to share your findings with the class. What I want you to do is create a document. It doesn't have to be in a formal memorandum format or any kind of established format, but in this document you need to share 3 screenshots of the web pages that you have found. I will show you examples right now. So here's the discussion board area, number 3, bi-weekly assignment 3, audience needs. So this is where you're going to go and post by Wednesday night. Now the pages that I found following this prompt of a large computer manufacturer were these: one by Apple, one by Lenovo, and one by Dell. Now they're all computer manufacturers, but these 3 pages are for different audiences, different potential consumers of their products. So this page is the Apple Education Store. You'll see that it says Education Store up here, and then it has information about iPads for your studies. This is for students or for teachers who want to purchase Mac products to use in an educational setting. So you would want to read all of the information here, click around in the Education Store and see how they make their argument about the applicability of this information and the products to this particular audience. The Lenovo page concerns healthcare uses of Lenovo computer products, so you would want to read all of this information, provide a screenshot in your document for the discussion board, and provide a caption beneath it for what the product is, what the group organization is, what the audience is, and what the purpose is here. And then this last one is from Dell, and this is computer products for federal government entities. So for example, they have Department of Defense customers or civilian customers, government contracts, so you'd provide a screenshot of this. So if this were my assignment, I would have one from Apple, one from Lenovo, and one from Dell. Please don't use these ones that I found. I was just providing them to you as an example of 3. But be creative. Think of computer manufacturers or computer component manufacturers who are selling their products to different audiences. So again, you're going to have the screenshots of the pages, and then you're going to have a little caption beneath, as shown on 113 in prompt 3, where it says name of the page, audience, and purpose. And you're going to have that there. I say that also here in the prompt. So you're going to share that document. Now your responses to your peers need to be much more robust because the captions don't have much writing in them. So where you're going to get your 300 words is going to be in your responses to your peers. All right, so now back to the content concerning the discussion board. Now I wanted to show you some examples of student work, so I'm going to turn to that now. I apologize for how busy my screen is here, but I wanted to show you 2 examples of student documents that were posted on the discussion board for this online activity 3 last semester, following the prompt on page 113, number 3. So something I said a few moments ago got cut off, and that is the document itself won't have 300 words of writing. The writing on the document itself will be pretty brief. So you have to make sure that in your responses to your peers, you write enough to constitute 300 words of writing between your original document and your post to 2 peers. Okay, so here is one student's response to this prompt that is right on the nose. So this student really specifically followed what the book said. So if you see on 113 in the top right, it says name of page, audience, purpose. So this student followed that format. Name of page, audience, purpose. The student wrote that the name of the page is Acer, Build Your Own Cloud. The audience is individual and business computer owners, and the purpose is they invite the private individual to build their own cloud to their own needs and specifications. The client will use Acer Open Platform to build the cloud, while the draw is that there is, quote, no significant time investment or resources, end quote. This means that by using the system, the individual and business saves money. So this student hit on a lot of things that would appeal to this particular population, individual and business computer owners. The next page the student chose was this XPS plus Windows. This is Dell. The student isolated that the audience would be gamers and individuals who own a MacBook Air. This Dell product is trying to compete with the MacBook Air. The student then has a pretty succinct purpose, but it really focuses in on how Dell tries through the design of this page to appeal to owners of this competing product. The third example the student used was Microsoft Xbox with the Gears of War 4 image on the page. You'll see that it's for Xbox here on the page, screenshot included. The audience here that is targeted is gamers. And then the student includes this brief paragraph that focuses on how Microsoft, with the Xbox web page here, strives to appeal to this population through their design, through their text, through everything they do on the page. Now, another student example is this one. The student also included screenshots here and had the text above the screenshot. That's not necessarily a bad strategy, but the other students maybe worked a little bit better. But this student said who the product was from Microsoft, who the audience is, and then analyzed the purpose. But the language is a little bit more vague. This first student had really specific audiences that these pages appealed to, and chose specific pages within, like Dell's page. That this one was a competitor to the MacBook Air. Now this student just sort of picks a general Microsoft computer here, and so thus the student struggles a little bit more to determine who the audience is, because Microsoft computers are intended to appeal to lots of different people. So you'll succeed more on this assignment if you pick a product that has a really niche target audience within a larger computer company's array of products. That's what I tried to show you in my examples from a few minutes ago that I chose. And then this student chose, let's see this one, example 2, the Virgin Mobile cell phone. Now this is a technology company, not selling a computer per se, but selling a cell phone. So you can ask yourself, is this really on target with what the assignment is asking? And can the student really hone in on a specific population of people who would be buying this product? Maybe the audience is very specific for people who would want to purchase a Virgin Mobile phone. But maybe that population is just so huge it would be hard to focus in on the strategies Virgin Mobile uses to attract a certain niche. And the third one is for IBM. Now, IBM is an incredibly large company, and again, we see the student really struggling to hone in on how IBM, through this page and what we see on the page, appeals to a specific audience. The student really kind of struggles speaking in generalities. We do not want that, okay? The document design on the student's page works reasonably well. I don't have a problem with that. It's more with the lack of clarity and specificity in the content, and perhaps the not ideal choices of screenshots here. This first one is much better because it's much more precise and is able to allow the student to really exercise what the chapter this week was trying to teach you, which is about how organizations, how documents, how pieces of communication appeal to specific audiences. So I hope seeing these two examples has helped you a lot.